What's going on, guys? DualX Bay here, back with another video, and today I have a little bit of a different video for you guys. We're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 today. Now, I have played this game for a long time, and I decided we could look at some more lore and hidden secrets within the game. Specifically today we'll be looking at one of the first missions in Cyberpunk, which is the rescue. This mission gets thrown at you from the jump, and there's a lot of little hidden things when you dive deeper through this mission that show you the underworld of Night City a little bit. Now, for experienced players in Cyberpunk or people who have already played the game, you can look at the chapters through the video I'll put down. You'll see through the timeline of the video. Um, and you can skip through to the start of the mission or any of the lore you want to hear, because in this next part, since it's the beginning of the game, I'm going to explain a little bit about the game for anyone brand new to Cyberpunk. So without any further ado, let's get right into the lore. To start off, Cyberpunk is a game that takes place in futuristic America in 2077, where lots of people throughout the world have cybernetic gear, which is called cyberware, which is transplanted into their bodies to enhance human abilities, whether it's their optics, strength, speed, smarts, anything you can make through technology to enhance humans is surgically implemented into these people to make them enhanced. In other words, superhuman, essentially. So these guys all basically Captain America, Winter Soldier, all them type of motherfuckers, basically. Our main character is V. Your created character you make at the start of the game. So far through the story, he was born and raised in Night City, went to Atlanta for a couple years, but didn't like it there, so he came back to Night City. So overall, we don't know too much about V. He's pretty much, or yourself as a character, you're pretty much just a mercenary that's used to just do different jobs, and you're trying to make it your way up in the world. And then next we have our partner Jackie, who is essentially the same thing as us. He's a merc, or in other words, mercenary, who will really do any side job just to make enough money. As we know about him so far, he's really just trying to make enough money to get himself a good living. I mean, he's from the not great areas of Night City, and he just wants to make a good living for himself. So you have Night City, which is another version of San Diego, California. That's the city it is based on. It's in Cyberpunk. It's right on the border of North and South California. It is completely overrun by corporations, corruption, and overall organized crime. So essentially, the city is basically Detroit. Essentially, your whole purpose throughout this game is you are a mercenary just trying to do jobs for the purpose of just trying to become rich one day. And that's, again, I explained that before, that's pretty much your whole goal throughout this game, is just to try to do as many jobs as you can and you go through the story and stuff like that. Now, let's move on to the mission. Now, Jackie and V are sent by a fixer named Okada to find this woman named Sandra Dorsett. She has been missing for a long time and is a high value asset for corporations in Night City. Side note, fixers are basically people who will find you jobs, and Wakako is the best fixer in the Westbrook district of Night City. So any jobs in the Westbrook district, you will have to go through her to do anything of that sort of nature. And if you guys would like a deeper dive into Wakako, I can do that in a different video. Just let me know in the comments below if you guys want to see something like that. Now we are sent to some of the apartments in Japantown to find this woman, and once you get into the apartments, you start to see almost like this massive workshop in these apartments, where the scavengers, which is a gang in Japantown and really all over Night City. I'll explain those guys later in the video. Trust me, we will be getting deeper into those guys. And then essentially this gang is supposedly holding Sandra captive. Now, basically, guys, what you're going to see through the rest of this part is, through the rest of this part, you guys know, if you have played through this mission, obviously, most of you have played through this mission. It's the very first mission you do. We end up getting through all of the different scavengers throughout this apartment complex, and when we get to the very end, we see Sandra, who is basically clinging on to life. And she is in a bathtub on ice, naked, again clinging on to life with a literal dude that is dead in the bathtub with her. So from there, when we get to Sandra, we learn that she has a platinum care subscription, which means that since she is such a high level employee of a corporation, the second anything happens to her, the trauma care unit should be notified and help should be on the way. But she had a GPS jammer in her head, so no authorities or trauma care were notified when she went missing or was injured. So even then we start to see some suspicions as to why did she get the jammer in her head and how was nobody notified of her being injured. But moving forward, we end up giving her an air hypo, which is basically a glorified version of an EpiPen, and then she becomes stable enough for the trauma team to come in and get her. Ain't gonna lie here, I don't know why the fuck these trauma care units got full AR strapped to them, and even worse, they're aiming at me. Like, bitch, I am the one who fucking saved this chick. What the hell? Anyways, from there, you and Jackie leave the apartment, and as you're heading home, you get ambushed by more scavengers, and you end up fighting them off, and the mission ends from there. So now we have some more questions. Who are the scavengers? Why did they take Sandra? And why was nobody notified when she was taken or injured or anything of that nature? All those questions I'm going to answer for you guys now. So firstly, who are the scavengers? They are considered to be the lowest of low-life gang in Night City. They are barely even a gang. They form into small groups throughout the city, and their primary goal is to abduct people and harvest their cyberware. To go a little more in depth, any ordinary people they see, and if they have cybernetic parts that are worth something, they will abduct you and surgically take them out. Any cyberware you have in your body, they will even take your organs, and from there they will sell them on the black market and leave no traces. If they don't sell all of your body parts on the black market, they will end up just tossing the rest of your body in the sewers and let the rats eat the rest of your body. So essentially this gang is full of just Jeffrey Dahmers. They aren't affiliated and don't have any philosophies or anything. And like I said before, they're barely even a gang because they form small groups around the whole city, so they are scattered everywhere. So no one in Night City, anybody in Night City really isn't safe. If you have any type of expensive cyberware, these people will hunt you down and they will try to kill you. After all that, we really don't have that much we know about the scavengers other than the fact that the apartment we infiltrated in Japantown, they have a couple of those in Japantown which they call the Den of Scavengers, which is essentially, like I explained before, kind of like their workshop where they surgically take out all of these cyberware parts from these people. And then other than that, there's no motives other than profit off the black market. That's really all that's the only motive they do have, if they have one. And they're believed to be a gang from Russia. They have Soviet cyberware, they speak European language, and they have Russia graffiti all over their dens. So from there, we transition to who is Sandra Dorsett. She is, like previously mentioned, a high-value employee of now known Nightcore. What we know about Nightcore is they are a very secretive organization. They supposedly do renovations and construction for Night City. But they have gotten lots of negative feedback because they are so secretive, which has led people in Night City to believe they are a corrupt organization. So back to Sandra Dorsett, she's essentially just a normal woman, nothing special to her, she just happened to have a really expensive cyberware. But then we learn she does unofficial net running, which for anybody who doesn't know what net runners are, they're basically hackers that help mercs and fixers with jobs, and they mainly work with fixers to sell them information so jobs can go smoother. We don't know why Sandra does this in her pastime, but we learned that she uncovered a very big secret in Nightcore. She uncovered that there was a secretive testing of AI going on, which we assume is testing on people, and she discreetly stole this information for what seems to have given the information to more fixers she works with. And from there, she kept the data on a data shard. And then when she was abducted, the data shard was stolen to never be seen from again. So basically, this bitch snitched like 6ix9ine, and then Nightcore tried to pull a Diddy and asked the scavengers to Tupac her ass. That's what I'm trying to say. Kidding, obviously. But on a serious note, that leaves us to my conclusion, which this is completely my opinion. You guys, please share your comments below if you guys have any other opinions or any other things you believe happened to Sandra and what you actually think the story is from here. But in my personal opinion, what I think happened is Nightcore was starting to understand that someone was stealing their data. And once they figured out it was Sandra, they decided to possibly sneak in a deal with the scavengers, which from there they would take her, they would abduct her, they would take her shard, and then they would either destroy it or give it back to Nightcore, and from there the scavengers could feel free to do whatever they want to her. Now, again, we could just say she was just abducted freely, but it wouldn't make sense how she got the GPS jammer in her head. She got the GPS jammer in her head, and it wasn't like she was hacked or anything. It was actually a physical data shard that was put into her head. And so, my firm belief is that she actually was just, having a normal day, walking across the street, and obviously, like I previously mentioned, Nightcore figured out it was her that was stealing information from them. They made a deal with the scavengers to abduct her and all these things. And the thing is, and why it's so confusing, is she had platinum care service, and if she had platinum care service, that means that the second she got injured, they say it in the game, V says if she sneezed, the authorities would have been alerted. So the second she got abducted and the second she got taken, I'm guessing they put that GPS jammer into her, which then got them to be able to take her and then take the shard and either give it back to Nightcore or just destroy it. And that's what I believe happened. But let me know what you guys think happened in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to turn on post notifications to get notified every time I upload. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.